Hello and welcome to Amethyst Star Crafting. My name is Jane Ormark and I'm a UK independent Stampin' Up demonstrator. And firstly, I'd like to apologise to all my subscribers because you haven't seen me for a week, but I had a very nasty head cold and my voice and my sneezing and all of those sorts of things were affected. So I'm now feeling a lot better. My voice isn't completely recovered, but it will do shortly. So I'm back, but excuse if my voice is a little bit croaky. We're going to have a fun card today. Something again which is very simple to do, but there's a few little tricks to getting it right. We're using circle dies, and you need to have 3 circle dies that are equidistant. So it doesn't matter which sizes you use, as long as you've got the same distance between each one of them. And you need 3 dies. And we're using the paper from, this is from the annual catalogue, page 133, Simply Elegant. And it's Speciality Designer Series paper. So it's got copper, gold and silver foiling on it, which is rather nice. And I have cut out, with these circles, the easiest way to describe it is to put it this way. Okay, so you want 3 pieces of designer series paper, and you are going to cut 2 from the middle one. You are going to cut 1 large and 1 small from the other piece, and a large and a small. Okay, so that's what you need, and that will allow you to make 2 cards from this. But it's important that you have the 2 middle pieces are the same paper, whereas your outside and your inside are a different paper, if that makes sense. So what you then have to do is, so your 2 middle ones are the same. I'm trying to explain it so it's easier. So yeah, if we do it that way, then hopefully you'll see. So you want a large and a small out of the middle die, out of the largest and the smallest die, and then you want a large and a small. So let me take the dies out of the way, and then I can put them down so you can see what we need to have. So large and small, and 2 middles. So that's 1 paper, that's another paper. Your middle circle has got to be the same paper. Now I like to do darks and lights, but you could do 2 lights and a dark, however you want to do it. I'm trying to make it as simplified as possible. Then what we need to do is we need to cut these pieces in half. So I find the easiest is to put them both together, because then you know that each one is going to be virtually in half, and you can do it on your trimmer if you want to have it absolutely spot on. I'm quite happy to eyeball it. So I'm then going to put them out separately so you can then see what we're trying to achieve. Okay, so these 2, again, we're going to cut them. And as I say, you can do it with your trimmer if you want to. I am quite happy in sort of eyeballing it. Doesn't matter if it is not absolutely spot on. Okay, so we've got these 2. Put that one there. And we'll put that one there. And then we've just got the little ones to do. So we're going to cut those in half, or as near to half as we can cut it. Okay, and then we'll put those back in on there, and we'll put that back in on there. Okay, so what we need to then do is we need to take one of the large ones, so we can put that down here. we need to take one of the middle ones, and then we need to take an opposite small one. Okay, so we've got those three together like that. Okay, and then we can glue those down. Okay, so we're going to take our wet glue. I'm just trying to think, was that the one that I can't remember which one I've just used. I had one out that I was using. Yes, that's the one that's okay. I've got one that's almost finished and one that hasn't. So we're going to put this in on the left hand side and then butt it up to the top. Okay, so that's the first one, and then the opposite one comes down in on the bottom. Okay, and then we can put that one in there on that side. Okay, then we need to do the opposite side. So if we take one of the other large ones, so the other side, that is going to come down on here. So we then need to take the middle one, and we're going to put the middle one on the opposite side. So this is on the left hand side, this we want on the right hand side. So we're going to take this one, and I find doing it separately works better than trying to do it all together, because you can then get confused of which bit goes where. There we go. Okay, so that's going to go there, that's going to go there, and then we want the opposite little one. So we want one of these, and that's going to go in on the right hand side. So you're doing the opposite from one to the other. So that can go in on there. Whoops, sliding about. Okay, so that's going to be our first one. So we can put that out of the way, and then we can go on to the other one. So the other one, we need one of these, and we'll have this one, which is our middle one, and we're going to move that in onto, we'll have that on our left hand side, and then we'll have this one, which is the other pattern, in on the left hand side. Like that. Then we can take this one, which is going to go there, and we're going to have this one, which is the middle one, and that's why I said your middle circle will always be the same. So we'll have this on, that's on that side. We need to put it on the opposite side, so this has got to go onto the right side, because this one was on the left, so that goes on the right. And then this one has got to go on the right as well. And then what happens by doing that is you get a really lovely swirly pattern. And that's the idea of doing it. So you've got, if you put those together, you've got the pattern swirling. If you put those together, you've got your pattern swirling. And I thought that it would be quite fun to make these into Christmas cards, because I quite like the idea of doing it. Now, a lot of the time people will do them this way round, and that's quite fun as well, but I quite like it this way round, because it gives you that sort of elongated, almost like a oh, what do you call it, a dangly, a bauble of some sort. So let's work on one card at a time. So this one, I've got smoky slate at the back, and I've just got a piece of basic white as my mat in on here. And I'm going to put this so that it comes down on the center as sort of near as I can in the middle, so that it sort of comes quite nicely in the middle. Then I'm going to literally just glue it down. So take some wet glue again. And we'll put this one in, make sure I've got it in the right place, which I have. So we want this to come in on here. Like that. Hopefully that's straight-ish, because I got my mat in on there, didn't I? Then we can have the other piece. Put this one in down on here. So all you're doing is you're lining up your middle one, so the other two are slightly offset, but they are up close. Now to actually make it work as the swirl even better, we're going to take some of the, and this is the metallic ribbon, and I think it goes beautifully. So we're going to take a piece of the metallic ribbon and we're going to run that. Just want a piece that's going to be just over so I can get it in on the side. So we'll take that. And then all I want to do is to run that through on here. So let me get some, I don't know whether I can use this one anymore. No, this is one that's, unfortunately, some of the, I've got a one that's got a bit faulty on here on my stamp and seal. So let me see if I've got another one. There we are, I've got another one in here, that should work. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to run a line of, move it up a bit, we're going to run a line of, and it doesn't really matter which one, I'm just trying to do it so it comes slap bang through on the centre and then down on the bottom. So I'm not always the most accurate, and again, if you find it easier to do it across this way, you just want to line it up so that it is as even as you can across. Give it a little press down, and then we can just take a little bit on there and a little bit on there. And then that can just come up that side and that can come up that side. Okay, so we've now got this running through. We can put that in on here, which I think looks quite nice, and it doesn't, you can decide which way you want it up. I think, you know, to the eye, one side will always look a little bit better than the other, although, as I say, I think that they look virtually they're virtually the same, they're just different patterns. I quite like that one, and that's only because that's my sort of personal choice. And then what I've done is I've taken a sentiment, and this was from the stars are shining brightly, and I'm going to put that straight across on the center because I think that that makes it look very classic. I'm going to stick this down so we can have it nicely finished, and again, it's quite a pretty sort of classic type card without it being over the top, and also it's not sort of traditional colors. You know, you could do it in traditional colors, but I actually quite liked it being just a little bit, what one did I say? I did say that way, didn't I? Okay, so I'm just going to put this in on here. Make sure that's stuck down. And then we can put this straight over the centre, because I think that that balances it quite nicely. Now, I could do it with dimensionals. I'm not, because as I said, I send quite a lot of Christmas cards in the post, and dimensionals aren't your friends in the post, depending what country you are, but they're certainly not the friends in the UK. So I'm taking that, so it comes literally in the center, and it's almost sort of crossing it over, and then you've got this lovely sort of pattern on there. I really like that. Now the second one I'm going to do in, I think I'm going to have it in black, so let's have a little look in. I've got a black mat here, and I've got another white which I looked out. What have I done with that? That's my sentiment. I've got Celebrate the Wonder on that one, and I just need, here we are, I put them up out of the way so they wouldn't get too overly squashed. So we'll have this one in on black. You could have it in on gold if you wanted it in on gold. I think black will actually work quite nicely. And we're putting these two in on the center here again. And I used the gold in on there. But what I could use is, and I'm just looking at a couple of different ideas. I think the ribbon looks absolutely lovely. You can use some glimmer paper. So I've got this sort of glimmer paper, which I think looks nice. Doesn't work as well. You could put another colour, you could put a black piece of designer series paper in the centre. I've got some of the right, that's the other metallic, which has got the red in, so you could put that down there. Don't think that works as well. I think I'm going to stick with the same formula, and I'm going to have this in again because I think that that works really well. So let's just do this one quickly because I want to finish both off, because you've got a slightly different pattern one to the other, which is quite nice. And then let me just take this one. So we're taking the glue on here, putting this one up about like that. And again, I'm eyeballing it. If you want to measure it, you can do. I'm quite happy with having things eyeballed. As I say, I like the fact that handmade cards are handmade cards, and you know, they're not factory made cards. So I think it's nice to do that. So there we go. That's that in on there. And I'm going to do this again because I really like that that metallic ribbon down there. I think it looks lovely. So I'm literally just going to take this from the top once I've got it down, and this is the only time that I use this this Stamp and Seal or Seal Plus is for ribbon, because I find that it's one of those things that you want the ribbon to stick down nicely, and it does work really well with ribbon. I don't use it for anything else. I use my wet glue, which is my favourite, but it is really good to use with what do you call it, to put ribbon on there. As I say, you have to excuse me, I'm a little bit sort of foggy still with my finishing of my cold. So when you're putting this down, just try and make sure that you've got it so that it's as sort of equidistant as you can. So I'm taking that on there, turn it over and just put a little bit in on the back, and we'll put this one in over the top. But it's a great way to make two cards. And I just really like the fact that when it hangs over this way, I think that it's quite a nice classical look for Christmas. You know, it's a modern take on a bauble, just slightly diffracted, and if you put it up in that direction, it really does make it look I think it makes it look quite fanciful. So let's pop this one in on here on the black, and then we're going to put the Celebrate the Wonder across. And if you wanted to finish it with a couple of little gems or some added twinklies, you could. I actually just like it as it is. I think it works really well. I don't think it needs anything more, in my opinion. I do like that sort of simple classic look, and a great way again of using up little tiny scraps and pieces, and all you're needing is 3 circle dies. So I hope you found that fun. I hope it's something that you will have a go at doing, because it's quite a fun one to do for a Christmas card. As always, please stay safe and well. Please be kind, and look forward to seeing you again soon. Bye-bye.